So Megan Fox recently appeared on the Call Her Daddy podcast with Alex Cooper, and she was interviewed about a lot of the headlines that have come out about her for the last couple of years. Specifically, she addressed all of the rumors around her doing blood rituals with her boyfriend, Machine Gun Kelly. Basically, they revealed that they bloodlet as a bonding ritual of some kind. It sounds like witchcraft, basically. And everyone was like, that sounds weird, but also try hard and edgy. Yeah. Like, I don't know, you're both in your 30s and you're acting like 16-year-olds, right?
Didn't Angelina Jolie do that with like Billy Bob Thornton?
Yes, they did that stuff. Kyle Dixon sent 25 Canadian dollars. He said, I wonder if Dog Lady has good upper body strength due to being on all fours most of the time. Quite possibly.
Canadian dollars are so much more polite than American dollars.
So Fox said she and Machine Gun Kelly have a blood drinking ritual. So I guess to drink each other's blood, it might mislead people, or people are imagining us with goblets like we're on Game of Thrones drinking each other's blood. But it's just a few drops, and we do consume each other's blood on occasion for ritual purposes only.
Well, of course.
Of course.
It would be weird if there wasn't a purpose to it.
Right, exactly. So she addressed these rumors and defended drinking blood. And actually, she made a very compelling point in regard to why this isn't as weird as some people think it is. So I want to react to that clip of her, if you've got it, Brett.
Actually, while I'm looking for it, will you read that super chat here?
Did we miss one?
No, from Quite Blackpilled, because Rollo's going to only be here for about an hour.
Okay. Quite Blackpilled. He has a question for you. Yeah. Rollo, how optimistic are you for the 40K show? It has to be a CGI shit show, not to mention all the legit fascism in 40K. Love Cavill, but it seems impossible.
I will be. That's one of the reasons I think Cavill. Sorry, it's not Cavill. I think that's one of the reasons why I like him sort of involved in all this. I mean, he left The Witcher so he could do this more. I mean, The Witcher was pretty much done anyways. But the fact that he's involved in this sort of, I am optimistic that he'll stay true to the form of the show. But the Warhammer 40,000 universe is very fascist. It's very dark. It's the grim dark future. That's what it is. And if they can stick to that, I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic. Not unlike the new Alien trailer that I just saw, which I was quite shocked by. I thought for sure Disney was going to screw this up, but from what I can see, if just from the teaser right now, it looks like old school Alien, and so I'm hopeful. I'm keeping my fingers. I'm cautiously optimistic. Put it that way.
That's the best you can hope for these days. All right, let's go ahead and watch this this segment then here real quick.
Give us like some context.
Okay, here's the context. Everything is a matter of like what you're accustomed to or what is currently like socially acceptable or normal. And back in like the 50s even, how many times did you see, like, probably never, but like on Leave It to Beaver or like movies from back then or even the 80s, how many times did you see like little boys would go out with like their little pop guns and they would cut their fingers and like be blood brothers, right? And they're like, we're best friends forever now, and they would like smush the blood together on their fingers. That's not satanic, right? That's normal, and that's cute, that's sweet, that's like an innocent, like
little bond.
Yeah, it's a little bond between kids who love each other. They have a pure friendship. It's like that. Except
I'm 38 years old.
Instead of rubbing your fingers together, the drop of blood goes in your mouth. And I don't know why that becomes satanic. I understand people are like, hey, that's weird, but guess what I think is weird? I think it's weird that girls are out here letting guys in their mouth and they don't know these guys. You're letting somebody put their sperm in your mouth and you don't know what he does. He doesn't even have a job. You met him on fucking Tinder. He's an entrepreneur or whatever. He's in a startup. And
She's got a point.
That is oddly specific.
Sperm in your mouth. That's disgusting. That makes my back hurt. That makes me sweaty. So fuck you.
Wait, why does it make her back hurt?
I don't know.
You're so offended that I gotta drop.
That's the fake titties that make her back hurt. Not the
Machine Gun Kelly's blood in
I
my
can tell you,
mouth.
but we're on the wrong show.
You have Brandon from Silicon Valley's sperm in your mouth. He didn't even buy you a nice drink.
Well, it's Brandon from Silicon Valley. How bad could he be?
I don't know about you guys. I think that's a pretty compelling point. I still think
agree.
it's super weird to do
Same.
blood drinking rituals, but she's right. Like, it is weird to
In a world where-
normalize that, but that's beyond the pale.
Most female celebrities, not all of them, but most of these really popular female celebrities do promote a lot of promiscuous sex with people that they're not married to, and having all these babies with boyfriends rather than people they're married to. And it was weirdly refreshing. Such a puzzling clip, because there's so many things that I dislike about it, but it was weirdly so satisfying to see her comment on just unabashed sexual promiscuity.
Yeah, she's right. Like, you shouldn't be forming this bond by hooking up with a random stranger. I still think both of you are weird. Like, girl who is letting Brandon from Silicon Valley bust in her mouth, she's weird. And you are also weird.
One is a ritual, one is not. Okay, why is she saying this is a ritual that we have to ritualizing what? Like, signifying what, for what belief set, for what ideology,
They're
for
not
what?
married.
Yeah,
She has like an amorphous ideology.
If you think about what is ritual for, why do you perform this practice, right? Well, what is it signifying? What is it? Why would you do this? If it's a ritual, please explain to me what the purpose and what the significance of the ritual is. If you're busting in a girl's mouth, that's not a fucking ritual, okay? That's just porn.
Well,
if you're gonna go and bleed out and have bloodletting, and that's a ritual, please tell me what that is, and I'll tell you exactly what that is. It's the same sort of sisterhood ritual of Asia Argento, Rose McGowan. Also, I'm trying to think who else was in that. Well, certainly she is.
Yeah.
I know.
Marina Abramovic?
Yeah, sure. Her, what is that, spirit painting or
Spirit
blood?
cooking.
Cooking,
Yeah.
yes, that kind of stuff. That, I mean, look, remember when she was in Transformers? Remember how innocent and hot she was? And now she, like, do something with your roots, girl. Like,
Well, so she also talked about in this podcast that she took a total break from the media for a while. I think after 2009, because there was just such a quote unquote witch hunt about her. And
a witch hunt?
a witch hunt.
Really?
Yeah, witch hunt. She said it. She said it.
Megan Fox thinks that she is the reincarnated version of a witch who was burnt at the stake. She actually said that in the podcast.
Yeah.
And
And
they're
before
like,
she
Christianity's bad.
Yeah.
As a non-religious person, I hear somebody's like, I'm the reincarnated version of this, but your religion is bad.
Before she gets plastic surgery, which she admitted to several different procedures on this episode, she says that she has to consult with some of her people who provide spiritual services of one or another, to make sure, that it's like the right date and just all of those sort of things.
Mercury has to be in Gatorade and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wait, so she's saying blood's okay, but sperm is gross. Is that because the blood is a ritual? Would the sperm be okay if it was some weird
Well, she went on to make equivalencies saying, if you have a skincare routine, that's a ritual. So I guess ritual doesn't actually mean anything, according to Megan Fox.
But like Rollo was saying, you're trying to accomplish something with a ritual, right?
Well, why would Angelina Jolie do something very similar with Billy Bob Thornton?
Yeah.
Like, what's the ritual signifying? I mean, if you go to like a Catholic mass, there is a ritual that is going on there. It's the incense and saying the chants. That's the ritual. It has a purpose. There's a significance to it. You notice how distracted we get from like, this is a blood ritual. This isn't two kids just like mingling blood to be blood brothers because they're 5 years old. Yeah. This is an adult woman and adult man doing this as a form of ritual. What is it meant to signify? Now we're gonna redirect and reframe the conversation over to, well, you don't want to bust in my mouth because that's nasty. That's unsanitary.
So Machine Gun Kelly seemed like, I just read about this sperm in the mouth ritual, and I think we should try.
I think we should try this.
Yeah, and then she says this, and then in another part of the interview, they ask her, "What's the craziest theory you've ever heard about yourself online?" And she's like, "Oh, it's so nuts that people think I am part of the Illuminati cult. Like, I mean, maybe the Illuminati is real, but they haven't given me an invitation to join." And she said that before. Like, it's so wild that anyone thinks I'm part of a Hollywood cult. You literally just said that you are engaging in occult rituals with your celebrity boyfriend. Why would we not assume something else is going on there?
She's like, I can't believe they think I'm in a cult. So anyways, I was drinking his blood.
Right.
It's like, can you believe
Like,
that?
I'm tired of the gaslighting. Anyway,
She should do a skit where she's like dripping blood from her mouth and she says those exact lines. She's like, I can't believe they think I'm in a cult. She's wearing nothing, like all red and
she has a lot of hippy dippy beliefs for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then I wanted to react to this other clip where she lists out all of the plastic surgery she's gotten, except for one secret procedure that she refuses to name.
We may never
Brazilian butt lift.
She actively denies it.
Do all the things that I've done.
Love.
Because I feel like there's this stigma, and I'm not gonna win. I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna win.
Okay.
However, I'm hoping it sets some people free.
Let's go.
Here's things I haven't done that I have been accused of doing.
Okay.
And then I'll confirm the things I have done.
Okay.
I've never had a facelift of any kind, so no mid facelift, no like
You don't need
lateral
it yet.
brow lift, although I would like one, or no regular brow lift. I've never done threads. I have researched them. That's not because of some moral thing.
Threads.
I just
What is that?
don't.
I'm not
believe
sure.
they work,
Thread
and I'm-
lifts for eyebrows.
The eyebrow lift.
Eyebrow threading.
Yeah, eyebrow. Yeah, no, that's different. That's
Okay.
Yeah.
Afraid that they would interfere when I do need to have a facelift, but I am very tempted to go have my eyebrows snatched like all the way. I want that look. Sometimes that seems fun, and you can do it on a lunch break, and I see why it's so tempting. And I have researched it, have not done it yet.
Okay.
I've never had this done. What is this?
Does she look like she takes a lunch break?
Buckle
Buccal,
fat.
buccal fat. I'll never have any fat removed. I'm a very like lean person that doesn't have enough body fat or fat in my face, so I will only ever put fat in. I will never be taking fat out, which leads me to I've never had any like liposuction or body contouring or anything like that. What are other things you
trying to
can
think.
have?
Butt implants.
I would be
BBL.
so flattered if somebody thought I had a BBL.
Megan.
If I could, I would. I don't have the extra body fat. I would get it done if I could. What I have had done, like I said, I had my boobs done when I was 21 or
13.
22. I had them redone after I was done breastfeeding my kids because I don't know where they went, but they went. Then I had to have them redone very recently because the first set, I didn't have enough body fat to disguise. You could see the rippling of the implant, so I had to switch them out to this set. I had my nose done when I was in my early 20s, and that's something I've literally been accused of having like 6, 7, 8 rhinoplasty surgeries, which is impossible. Your nose would get necrosis and fall off. I haven't had a rhinoplasty since I was, I'm gonna say 23. It's been well over a decade. I've not touched my nose since then.
You've had your nose done, you've had your tits done, and what? Botox and filler?
That's it, right? Oh, there's one thing I had done that I'm gatekeeping because, sorry.
What?
It was really good, and it's not a known like plastic surgery. People don't even really know about it. You don't need it, I don't think.
Really?
You're not gonna want it. I wanted it very badly, and I needed to do it. And it's something that
Can you give us a hint?
no.
So what's the secret surgery?
Yeah.
People
Good
are
question.
people are now transvestigating Megan Fox. And
have you seen anything? What do you think?
Okay, some people are saying her secret surgery was sex change, but I do not believe in the transvestigation conspiracies.
She's had 3 kids, right?
Yes,
Vaginoplasty?
she had 3 kids, so
Vaginoplasty.
I have no idea. I mean, she's saying that this is something people haven't heard of.
Oh.
So
A
I don't
labial
even know.
lift. That's what
I don't
she's
even
getting.
know.
That's what she's talking about.
Yeah. she's,
What else could it be? Like, what else is good?
vagina touch up after giving
What is it?
birth to 3
This
kids.
Something
she's been
esoteric?
re-virginized.
Yeah.
Yes.
She got her hymen.
Her hymen was replaced.
She got a
What else could it be?
hymenoplasty.
Tell me what else it could be.
no.
I want to know what else it could be.
Yeah,
That's
honestly,
scary.
I'm baffled by what it could be.
She's pretty honest, though. I mean, I'll give her
Yeah,
that.
well,
She's pretty honest
we
with all
did
the
a video
procedures.
on this channel that did relatively well, saying like, what the hell happened to Megan Fox's face? Why do pretty girls do this to themselves? And we read through a lot of these old interviews where you can tell that Megan Fox has just always had this deep feeling of self-loathing, it seems.
She has
And
really deep-seated body issues.
yeah, and you can tell from a clip like this or just things that she said publicly over the years. Yeah, you can tell that she has some deep-seated issues, and that's probably where her poetry book came from, is that place where she really just hates men. And
if the blood rituals didn't convince you.
So it keeps her skin so smooth is the blood rituals.
Yes, and the energy that comes from her hatred for men. But everyone is like, okay, this is kind of hypocritical because you've always presented yourself as a sex symbol, and you're presenting yourself to this day on your Instagram in all of these sexy photos. You're not exactly posting yourself in sweatpants or just like living your daily life. But you're mad at being objectified. You're mad at still being seen as a sexual object.
Yeah.
And it presents an obvious cognitive dissonance in her.
How old is Machine Gun Kelly?
I think he's only a few years younger than her, like 35.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think a lot of this has to do with her sort of approaching 40 right at this point. Because when she's had that much attention, when she's had basically made a living off of her sexual agency for as long as she has, she's Megan Fox, right?
Yeah.
And now she's got 3 kids later. I mean, imagine this is your mom. And honestly, it seems like she's grasping for straws right here and trying to cling to this sexual agency that is, it's already decayed by this point. But like, what movies is she in recently? What career moves has she made? What kind of?
She was
Midnight in the
recent,
Switchgrass?
Expendables 4, which was awful.
What, as a cameo?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, really, what is she doing? I mean, the only way she's remaining relevant is by stuff like this or being with Machine Gun Kelly, which she's no longer with anymore. So, so now
she's with him. She's with him again.
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't.
They broke off the engagement, though.
Okay, so no marriage. Well, yeah, must have. Maybe that's the ritual.
Well, that's
maybe this is how we're going to get married. It's going to be the red wedding for Megan Fox.
Yeah, it does seem like that. And in the interview, she was also hinting that she is approaching a point where she wants to leave the public eye all over again and just like permanently.
Yeah, that point will be 40 years old.
Leave. Which, from the sound of it, it would actually be good for her and her mental health if she did actually leave the public eye, because it seems like she's not good at handling it.
I don't think she would be good at not being in the public eye, because it's like Tom Brady doesn't leave the NFL because he just wants to he just has such a love for the game, even though you get to the point where you sort of like, well, you hit the wall, right? You are no longer what you used to be. It's great to go out on top, but I think it's a much difficult prospect for women who have essentially commercialized their sexual agency for as long as she has, and now she has to exit the game, and it's not taken well for her.
On the podcast, she literally says to the host that she is not doing well. And I can't imagine that you would see someone like a Tom Brady say, "Oh, I'm not doing it well."
Yeah, exactly.
So I personally think I could see her disappearing again, just because clearly something's going on with her recently.
But the question is, how long will it last if you actually do take that plunge and leave the public eye?
And then what do you come back for?
It's like you only know how to exist being seen, and that becomes your entire identity. So yeah, it's just very sad to see an example like that.
It is like athletes after they retire. They don't, they've spent their whole lives becoming, these elite athletes, and then they don't know what to do with themselves when they don't have that goal to strive for every year.
The reward is no longer there, and the adulation and the crowds cheering for you and everything else. I mean, you're still going to be Tom Brady, right? But I mean, it's just not. It's not the same. I mean, especially when you've done that for as long. And granted, her too. And she's not the only one. There's a lot of other actors and actresses that are in the same boat. So.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.